The Joe Rogan Experience.
How many times a day do you get bombarded by the whole Bill Burr thing?
When it gets into the family and people I haven't talked to for 20 years.
Then you have to break character and tell the truth?
No, the thing is, this is what's crazy. Okay. You want the whole setup story?
Sure.
I could be quick about it.
Sure.
So where I tape my podcast is in one of Howie Mandel's buildings, and he has another building in this area. So I was working on something, and I was supposed to go on Howie's show that day. And they said, Howie will meet you out in the street or something for whatever reason. So I go out in the street, and the first thing Howie says to me when he sees me, he goes, "Here comes Bill Burr." And I go, "You too? Like, do you know this story?" And he said, "No, I don't know about it." And I said, "You know what? Heck with it. I'm just going to tell it on your show, so don't ask me anymore." And I went on the show, and I told the story about how 10 years ago my stepmother came to me and said, "Do you know who Bill Burr is?" I never heard of Bill, didn't know who he was, because I don't really consume much popular culture. I had no idea he was a famous comedian. He could have been the lawnmower guy. Looked up Bill. First thing I saw was like, oh my God, he looks just like Daddy. When I was 18 years old at an IHOP on my 18th birthday, my father told me, "You have a half-brother that I sired at the same time as you whose name is Bill." So suddenly these facts come together. My mother telling me these stories. I talked to my dad subsequently about it, and he was very cagey about it. And when I said, "Why won't you tell me where this person is or who this person is?" he said, "I'm trying to protect you." So when my stepmother had told me, it kind of made sense. Like, well, if my half-brother is this super famous comedian, my dad, in a way, wouldn't want me to know because he wouldn't want me to feel like I was number two because Bill's so famous. I know it sounds crazy, right?
You think that's why he was trying to protect you?
Well, I don't know. So fast forward to Howie saying something on the street. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to say something. And I swear to God, hand on my heart, last time I was with you in California, I almost pulled you aside after we were on, and I was going to tell you the story because I knew you knew Bill, and I was going to back channel see if there was anything to the story from Bill's side.
Wow.
So imagine 6 or 7 years since we talked on your show.
Yeah, I don't even know.
2018, somebody said to me today. But so anyway, sorry to talk over you. But the point is, so here I am, fast forward. I'm just sick of seeing memes of my face with Bill's. And so I just decide on a spur of the moment, So Howie, of course, loves it. But I said on Howie's show that first time, I don't think Bill's my half-brother. I don't think there's anything there other than an uncanny resemblance. Fast forward, the thing comes out, it gets a little bit of social media, and then it goes away. And I think, good. And Bill didn't say anything, so I figured Bill was kind of like, whatever. It was a mild amusement. He could have made a joke out of the whole thing, and he didn't. So then Howie calls me, and I'm in L.A. working recently, and Howie's like, "Will you come on the show? Bill's going to be on." And I said, "Is Bill cool with it?" "Oh, yeah, no problem." So then I go there, and it's like, it turns into this thing that you see happening on camera. It's like, it's weirdness times, it's like a skit, but it's real. And Bill's on me, then Bill's on Howie, and it gets just, okay. So I just told you basically everything I know, okay? I have people I've known for 20, 30 years coming up to me going, "What do you think?" And I said, I don't think we're related. I mean, yeah, there's a resemblance, but I don't think we're related. "Well, did you get a DNA test?" And I'm like, "No, I don't. There's nothing to get a DNA test for." "Well, I think he's your brother." So people that know me, and I'm telling them I don't think he's my brother, now they want a DNA test to prove it. That's how much it's taken on a life of its own.
Do you think it's just because they want a DNA test because it's fun if he's your brother?
No. They're convinced.
For real?
Yes.
Really?
For real. I swear to God. I mean, people I'm close to, people that were at my wedding, I'm like, they're like, "No, you need a DNA test."
Did Bill's dad know... Well, did your dad know Bill's mom?
No, my father wouldn't talk to me about it at all. Okay, some more context.
Okay.
My stepmother in that same time, 10 years ago, when she told me that she thought Bill Burr was my half-brother.
Jesus.
This guy I don't know, right? I mean, just imagine if I hey, do you know Joe Polanski?
Right.
And you look up and it's a famous comedian. That's,
Right.
So in that same thing with my stepmother, she told me that she thought my father had sired 12 children.
Whoa.
All
over the place.
All over the place. He was a traveling musician and a whore to his own admittance. So it kind of makes sense. He once told me he'd slept with 1,000 women. So
Jesus.
12 out of 1,000, you know what I mean? It's
normal odds.
The math. It's
actually pretty good.
Yeah. And so when I went to my father and I told him what my stepmother had said, he got really cagey and wouldn't tell me anything. He promised me that he would write down the names of the illegitimate children on a piece of paper so I could find them after he died.
Oh my
and
God.
he's died and there's no paper.
Oh my God.
So now I got people wanting DNA tests because they're convinced that Bill is my half-brother.
Is Bill willing to do a DNA test?
I think that's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
no, you have to do it.
no, that's what I'm saying. I mean, first of all, to Bill's credit, everything you saw on camera was his general irritation on the thing, but he also kind of finds it funny because he's a comedian.
I thought it was a skit. I thought you guys put together a skit. I really did. I thought because I thought, Bill does a lot of acting. I thought you guys were just fucking around. You like pro wrestling. I thought you guys just decided to troll the world.
Let me put it to you this way. Have you ever seen it? And I'm assuming, but you tell me if I'm wrong. Two guys get in the ring to roll around a bit, right?
Okay.
They're bros. They're going to roll around a bit.
Uh-huh.
Emotions kick in, and next thing you know, somebody's tapping somebody out.
Right.
Do you ever see that happen?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the heat of that moment with Bill and Howie egging it on, like the emotionality of the thing came out because it's a sort of it's sort of a weird thing. We're suddenly in the middle of a situation. It's like a meta situation.
Right.
So yes, on some level we were playing along, but then it starts to become like, wait, this is kind of weird, and then it starts to kick in, and then Billy Bush is in there, and it took on a life of its own. So what I'm saying is there's enough there that people are all over me to come up with more answers, but you see what I'm saying?
I do.
It's like it's spun out of control into its own thing. Now it's a DNA test problem, which is a bit on its own. Like, we're going to do like a live stream we'll do it here, me, you, and Bill. You know what I mean?
Well, people would trust you if the two of you got together and just both took a DNA test and found out you were brothers.
I don't think Bill's my half brother, but he looks.
Well, listen, there's a simple way to find out. I'll finance it. How much is a DNA test? How much does a DNA test cost to find out if someone's your sibling, Jamie? Let's find out. It can't be that much money. It's 2025. I'll do it.
We'll get it sponsored.
Yes, maybe 23andMe. But didn't they sell out to somebody? Somebody buy them? $200.
There you go.
I'll pay $200 to find out. Why would you want to know? If I thought somebody was my half brother, I'd be like, for real?
I don't think it's
If
necessary.
I found out Sebastian Maniscalco was my half brother, I'd be like, I could kind of see that. Maybe.
Again, all I know is I don't think, but when I look at him, he looks just like my father.
Right.
He doesn't look, we look similar-ish, but when I look at him, he's got the same thing as my dad had. I don't know you would know if somebody looked like your dad,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
So that's where it's freaky for me.
Yeah.
And if you want to play the game one step further, you got two world-class communicators. People might argue against me calling myself a world-class communicator, but I've been doing it for over 30 years.
You're a world-class communicator.
God bless. So it's not too crazy that you'd have one guy go this way and one guy, you know what I mean?
Not at all. No. Especially when you consider how many different ways you've gone. Like, not just Smashing Pumpkins, but pro wrestling. It's like
and now I'm entering your game, which is podcasting.